It's so hard to choose.
This video is not sponsored by any of the companies mentioned.
Hi, Shanna Rowe Jackson here from Canston Artboards at Plein, and it is that time of year again. I can't believe it, but we are almost to the end of 2022, and that's depressing, especially since it's about to be very cold here in Maine. But I thought this would be a great time for me to look back and to share with you what my favorite art supplies of 2022 have been. Now, I did a video like this last year, and I want to say that I still love all the art supplies that I mentioned last year, especially the ink tints. But I just didn't get a chance to work with them as much this year. And so I didn't want to have the list be the same exact list as last year. So I tried to focus on things that I explored this year, tried, for the first time, and fell in love with, or things that I can't wait to explore more of in 2023, or just the things that I have been reaching for over and over again. And so with that, let's get to it. So the first thing that I want to talk about are the Neocolor 1 Wax Pastels by Gouache. These are beautiful. And you saw me try these for the first time this year, and I've kind of fallen in love. I initially bought these because I wanted to speed up my colored pencil process, so I use these a lot for backgrounds and for larger areas. They blend out beautifully, just like colored pencil. You can use solvent and other blending mediums as well, and they are fantastic, but they are also fantastic as their own medium. I find myself working with these a lot as a whole, like creating a piece mainly with these and then just using colored pencils for detail. And then also I do the reverse where I'm using mostly colored pencil and then use these to kind of speed up the process. So they work very well, and you don't even necessarily have to use, depending on what style you're doing and what technique you're looking for, you don't have to necessarily use colored pencil with them. I just like to sometimes for fine detail, but I find that it's minimal, really. I just recently did a piece that was a pumpkin, and it was, the majority of it was done with these. And then I just came on top for a few things for detail for colored pencil. And I apologize if you can hear my kitty cat in the background. He's jumping and playing, and he'll probably be meowing in a minute. He's a loud cat. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about was on my list last year, and that is the Holbein watercolor. I have them in tubes, but you saw me create my own palette with them last year, and I have just found myself reaching for this over and over again this year, especially when I'm working in my sketchbook. It's obviously convenient to have a nice set of pans. You can tell they're well loved. Look how vibrant that looks. I think that's a color I mixed, but that's gorgeous. I think that they are really easy to re-wet. They're just beautiful and vibrant and immediate. And I don't know, I just love the way they feel when I'm working with them. And here's just a few of the colors here, just to show you what the tubes look like. And you can watch my video where I review these and I create this palette, so you can see what I'm really up to. But even with mixed media in my sketchbook, I just find myself reaching for these a lot, even if it's not the only thing that I am using at the time, and I love them. And I should say, Holbein did give these to me last year to try, but again, they're not sponsoring this video. None of the companies are sponsoring this video. And I just love them. I think they're beautiful, and I can't wait to do more with them in 2023. So the next thing that I want to show you are the Royal Talons Gouache. They are just so beautiful. This is something that I tried for the first time this year. I got a couple colors in the Art Snacks box. It was these. My husband had got me an Art Snacks box, and I just love the way they felt. I loved how vibrant this magenta was, and so I have been slowly kind of adding to my collection, and I just love the way they feel. They're just so beautiful to work with, and vibrant but matte. Obviously, they're gouache. Easy to layer, and I love that. I can't wait to explore these more in 2023. And you can get light fast colors. I obviously have been looking at the light fast ratings and deciding which ones I want to buy next. Very slowly building my collection because I think they're like $9 a tube or something like that. So they're kind of pricey, but I've been getting into gouache more and more, especially since I've been working in my sketchbook more. And so these have been a fun addition to play around with. Speaking of things that I like to use in my sketchbook, acrylic markers. I have been using these a ton this year, and I was a little leery when I first started with acrylic markers because I'm like, oh, they're just so like graphic and stuff. I usually do realism, but they're great for exploring in the sketchbook. I have a few different brands. I started out with a Liquitex professional paint markers, but I never was really a fan. This is like their fine tip, but it's like a chisel nib. I've never really been a fan of that. They're nice, like the paint is nice, but they just don't get the detail I want. So I've been exploring a few other brands, and I've really been liking the Montana. And I've also really liked the Molotow, at least the black in the Molotow, because I have a fine black somewhere, which I probably have out and about somewhere because I use it so often. But yeah, so, oh, here it is. Here's the Molotow one. I really like this one too. I don't think I've ever tried any of their other colors though, so I can't speak to that. But I've really, really enjoyed this one. And I have found that they're really versatile. They're great for sketchbook use, but also they're really good for adding detail, even in like realism pieces and things like that. And so this is something that I have found myself reaching for a lot, especially since I've been working more regularly in a sketchbook. Okay. So, our next one is it's actually a surface. It is the Canson Mixed Media Artboards. They're Plein Air series. And what these are like essentially a mat board that you can draw and paint on, and they come in a pad. Very convenient. These will handle a lot of different supplies. And I did a 2-part review that was pretty extensive on these. And I will also be reviewing some of their other art boards in the future. But I fell in love with them. I absolutely love them. This is like my new favorite surface for the Neocolor One Wax Pastels that I just showed you. Fantastic for those. Really great for colored pencil as well. And great for wet media. Definitely beautiful for gouache. So if you are interested in seeing that review, definitely check it out. I will link it. I am so excited to use these even more in the future. The next one is an old favorite of mine, and it just keeps on coming back. This is the Caran d'Ache Gouache Studio 15 set of pans. And I'm somebody who really enjoys working from pans when I'm dealing with water media. And so when I came across these years ago, I was just so excited. And I used these a lot when I was in art school. And this year I have renewed my love for them, especially since I've been working in the sketchbook a lot lately. They're just so convenient, so vibrant, so opaque and beautiful. And of course they're matte. And it's funny because I'm not normally a matte person. Like historically speaking, haven't been that into matte paints, but this year, for some reason, I'm feeling the gouache, I'm feeling the matte paints, and I'm feeling the opacity, and so fun to have, great to have on hand. I'm not a huge fan of their white. I feel like there's other more opaque whites out there, but other than that, I just love this palette. It's so versatile and beautiful, and a little goes a long way. Like I said, I've had this for years and I used it a lot when I was in school, and I still have a ton of paint left. Absolute bop. I love it. It is just amazing, and I highly recommend it. I mean, talking about all these supplies just makes me want to go play with my supplies. I'm just saying. Speaking of the matte paints, something that I have been using more and more of this year is the Holbein acrylic gouache. And I find myself using these in conjunction with other acrylics, especially when I need something very nice and opaque. They're just fantastic. They're really versatile. I reviewed these last year, and I wasn't sure how I felt about them because, again, as far as acrylics go, I've never been somebody who's all about the matte acrylics. I like them, but it's, you know, something that I've been liking more and more lately. And like I said, I use these in conjunction with my other acrylics, and they work fantastically. And the white is the one that I've gone through the most. I've already had to buy a new white. And again, these were gifted to me by Holbein last year, but I've gone and bought my own colors, and I've had to replace the white because I use it so often. Great for clouds. This, like, if you don't want to invest in the whole line of them, I just suggest getting the white to use with the rest of your acrylics, because it's just fantastic. Nice and matte, and it mixes well. I don't know. It's just beautiful. Perfect for highlights because it pretty much will go over anything. I just love it. So I'm looking forward to exploring these even more as time goes on. And I just think that they were a great addition to my collection of acrylics. And I think that, yeah, they're just so versatile and fun. Highly recommend. The next thing that I want to talk about has been a favorite of mine for a very long time, and that is the Faber Castell Pit Artist pens. And these are the brush pens. I have a 60 set here, but I also had, I think, a larger set, as well as ones that I had bought open stock. So I typically these are going to be like some of my spares. I typically keep them in these containers where I can see the colors really easily, because I have a bunch of smaller sets, and then I had another bigger set, and then I had bought some open stock. And so this is what I work out of right now. And I'll try to find these sets. I feel like I got these off of, I think I got these like little containers off of maybe Jerry's. I'm not even sure. It's been years. But these are the Pit Artist pens. They are a brush pen. These are a water-based pen. And they are India ink based. So you're going to have light fast ratings, which I love. I only ever work with water-based pens because they're more likely to be light fast, and these ones have specific ratings on them, so you know what you're getting. I don't mess with the alcohol markers because they're inherently not light fast. Now, that being said, water-based markers are not necessarily as easy to blend, and so I like to use these on ampersand and caustic board. They blend out beautifully on that. And I did one of my favorite pieces this year using these with the encaustic board. I just had so much fun with it. And they're just beautiful, vibrant. And when you get a set, you can actually use it like this. It comes like, these sets are actually very beautiful, and have it this way. So it has its own like easel on it. It's just wonderful. It's fantastic. Anything Faber Castell puts out is great anyway. And I believe that these colors all line up with their colored pencils, if I remember right, because Faber Castell has a tendency to do that with their supplies. And so if you want to use this to supplement colored pencil work to speed up your work, you can do that as well, as long as you're putting them beneath the colored pencil, because they are water based and you don't want the wax to cause the wax of the colored pencil to, you know, like cause archival issues. So obviously if you're going to use these on bottom of colored pencils. But yeah, I've been using these ones for years because I wanted to get into marker, but I wanted something that was going to last and not fade on me. And this is it. And I've been honing my techniques for a long time to figure out the best way to blend. And I'm like really happy with where I'm at with these. So the next item is also a Faber Castell item. And that is their Pit Graphite Matte Pencils. And these are nice matte graphite pencils. I just thought that they were so beautiful to work with, and they felt comfortable in my hand, and I didn't feel like they were as gritty as some of the other matte pencils that I had tried. They're, you know, your basic graphite pencil, but without the shine. And so I did a review on these, and again, when I first tried them, I wasn't sure what to think of them, but in retrospect, I just really, really enjoyed working with them, and I know that I'll be reaching for them time and time and again when I am working with graphite. It's a nice little set here. This was the 11 set, and it's an 11 set because it's got some of the tools on the side as well, which was very convenient. Really enjoyed it. I love the piece that I did with them. And yeah, this will be one of my new favorite graphites for years to come. Okay, and the final thing that I want to talk about is the Zen Art Nomad set. This is Watercolors by Zen Art, and they sent me these to review, and I gave my very honest review, and I love them. I think they're great. There were a few things that I had suggested in my video, and honestly, the founder of the company commented on the video and said she was taking them into consideration, and the fact that it was an artist-run company and she is listening to other artists, it's fantastic. But that aside, for the price of these, and like, look how unique this is. It's just such a cool set. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just love this set. It's so convenient. It has your tools in it. It's beautiful. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised. I was not sure what to expect when I started using these. I was afraid that they would be, you know, janky. I was afraid that they would be like working with kids' watercolors. Now, smell-wise, they are. For some reason, they've got that nice, nostalgic kids' art supply smell. But man, do they have beautiful results. I was beyond impressed with what I came up with. And so that alone made it my new favorite, one of my new favorite watercolors. I can't wait to work with this more. It's a neat travel set. I just love the design. I love the paints. I love the fact that it's an artist-owned business. This is beautiful. And I just thoroughly enjoyed reviewing this product. And I'm not just saying that because if I hated it, I would absolutely tell you. There are some art supplies out there that I'm not a fan of. But these ones, yeah, like, I don't know. I was thoroughly impressed, especially for the price point. And I know that I will be reaching for it time and time and again, especially once my husband and I, like, go on our anniversary trips and things like that. This will probably be the travel palette that I'm bringing with me. So yeah, and if you want to see any of the videos that are related to this, I will link them below. But that's it for me this year. Like, again, I love all the supplies that I mentioned last year, but I've been playing around with some new things, and it just gets me so excited to keep going and exploring and to see what else I will be able to create with these things in the future. You will see me working in my sketchbook a lot more, and that's where a lot of these favorites came from, was that I was just reaching for them time and time and again when I was working in my sketchbook. And so I will continue to do that as I explore my sketchbook more and more. So yeah. Oh, and please drop some comments below. Let me know what your favorite art supplies were this year. Did you try something new? Is there something that you have loved for years and years and years that you're still continuing to use? Let us all know, because I love learning about different art supplies. And I think the rest of the art family does too. So yeah, thank you so much. I will see you next week. You have a wonderful day. Bye.
If you liked this video, check out this one next.